Well, for more on the latest loss for the Jets, the publisher of Jets Confidential, Dan Leberfeld, joining us now. Dan, thanks for coming on.
It's always great to be on with you, Joe.
Well, you know, I appreciate you saying that, but I think after a loss like this, you'd rather be talking about something else. But we got to start with this. The Jets were flagged for 12 penalties today, 4 on the game-winning drive. Aren't these the type of things you're supposed to clean up during the bye week?
Yeah, you would think they would be crisper coming off a bye week, but not the case. And I still go back to the issues in terms of the offensive operation. On the Jets' last possession, there was a play where Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams were flagged for an illegal formation. How does that happen in the fourth quarter? And those are your two best receivers. I think they're having operational issues, and it goes back to demoting Nathaniel Hackett and promoting Todd Downing to offensive coordinator. Now, I know Jet fans are not really that high on Hackett. A lot of them aren't. But here's the thing. This is Hackett's offense. You're asking Todd Downing, who got fired in Tennessee as offensive coordinator, to run Nathaniel Hackett's offense. Once again, if you want to fire Hackett after the year, be my guest. But why would you have someone else running his offense? And they have so many operational issues. They got called for delay of game also early fourth quarter.
Well, the talk around Florham Park this week was that Aaron Rodgers is the healthiest he's been this season, but he was inconsistent at best today. He took some accountability after the game. At this point, though, is this the best we're going to see from Rodgers from here on out?
Well, if the offensive line keeps playing this way, and once again, I don't think Downing and Rodgers are on the same page. They were forced to work together because management decided to demote Nathaniel Hackett. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making Nathaniel Hackett into Bill Walsh, but this is his offense. He's the one with the better chemistry with Rodgers. Let him call the plays. If you want to make changes after the year, that's fine. But to do that in the middle of the year and then throw in a new number one receiver, a 1A receiver, Davante Adams, right in the middle of the season, it hurt the flow of the offense. And he's forcing the ball to Adams. There's no question about it. Adams was thrown the most to today by an Jet receiver, 12 targets, just 5 catches. And aren't you shocked, Joe, watching Jet games, how often Rodgers and Adams, these best friends who played so long in Green Bay together, where they're not on the same page on these pass routes?
Yeah, and there was that one catch, I think it was on 4th down, where Adams laid out for it, thought he had it, but just went through his hands there. Even when they are on the same page, they're still struggling to connect. Well, speaking of changes, after the game, Ulbrich was asked about a possible QB change. He said he's sticking with Rodgers for now, but do you think he should, or do you think it's time to give Tyrod Taylor a shot to run this offense?
No, I think they should stick with Rodgers. Now, if they had a rookie quarterback or a young developmental quarterback they wanted to see down the stretch, you make that change. But you don't do it for Tyrod Taylor. What's the difference? I mean, you might as well go with Rodgers. Tyrod Taylor is a good guy and good locker room guy, but he's a 500 quarterback. So what are you really accomplishing? And Rodgers is far from perfect, but a lot of this isn't on him. The offensive line has had a really bad year, and Rodgers took a beating today. Last series of the game, Leonard Williams, the former Jet, that's a whole other story. Leonard Williams with 2 key sacks on the last series. The Jets had the ball. I mean, what's up with that? And Rodgers was sacked just 2 times today, but he was hit an awful lot. Morgan Moses got hurt early in the game, the veteran right tackle. Carter Warren had to go in, and he had a rough game. So, once again, I'm not an apologist for Aaron Rodgers, but the pass protection has not been good all year.
Yeah, you mentioned the day Leonard Williams had. It was also a revenge game for Geno Smith. What does it mean when you see these high draft picks that the Jets once used or once selected, they leave town and they have a lot more success in their careers? What does that say about the Jets and the way they're developing players?
Right. Well, one of the problems is, like with Leonard Williams, for instance, I still don't know why they traded him in 2019. That was Joe Douglas, the former GM's first year, and they traded him in late October. I'm like, why would you trade a guy like this? Leonard Williams represents everything you want in a player. Not only an outstanding talent, but tremendous character, great leader. Joe Douglas in his first year, why would you move on from him? I never understood that. One of the reasons is all this turnover and all these players perhaps go on to play better in other places is because they're always starting over. So Joe Douglas comes in as a new GM. He's like, well, Leonard Williams doesn't fit my program. And there's a new program every few years. There's going to be another new program next offseason. Something needs to change in Florham Park. And I said this last week on your show when I said Woody Johnson needs to hire a central football guy like Leon Hess did with Bill Parcells 20 some odd years ago. Throw them the car keys and get out of the way. This structure they have now where the coach coaches a team, the GM picks the players, and they both report to the owner, it's not working. They need one central football czar to run the operation with one clear message.
Yeah, clearly it's not working. Make it 9 straight losing seasons for the Jets. That is the longest streak in the NFL. Dan Leberfeld, Jets Confidential, appreciate you stopping by tonight. Thanks, bud.
You got it.